Welcome to Learning by Doing. I'm Rajesh Kumar. Today we are going to learn how to build Metro Route Saver. So here is a guide that we have. I'll be providing this guide to you as well in the video description. So this will have learn study guide plus AI prompts. So our guide is in this structure. So each will have a goal, prompt block, verify, brain training, challenge, streak, terminal code. So here, how to actually use this guide. So read the goal, know what you are walking into. So to understand, so what is the goal of this particular session? And this particular session is divided into multiple steps. So each step has a goal. So to set up a mind for this particular activity, so we have a goal. So read the prompt before you pass it. Understand what you're asking. So we have prompts that we use to build our application. So we have to read those prompts, understand, because it will the AI will build the application based upon the prompt that we have given. But reading it for ourselves to understand how to build ourselves helps us. So paste it into your AI tool, watch it respond. So that's what we'll see. Take every verify item. Don't cheat yourself. So for every step, we'll have a list of verification steps for every step. So you need to cross verify them to understand how the development is done at every step of it. So answer the brain training questions out loud, even if it feels silly. Yeah, so this brain training session is something like to let you, so as we are giving the activity to the AI, so we need to know what is being happening at every step. So brain training is that particular part where you will be understanding what you need to uh, know from this particular step, what happened in this particular step. So that we'll see in the coming content. Attempt the challenge. Even one attempt is better than zero. So we have challenges. We have only one challenge in this session. So attempt the challenge yourself to extend from where this particular session is finished. So a note is do not copy paste just like that. So this guide is created to help you in a way like how development is actually done in the corporate company. So that is the reason this particular guide is given. So read through whole of it. So we will also building the application by reading this and guiding you. But whenever you're working on building watching this video, go through this yourself in more detail. So moving on to next, what you're building. So what are we building? So before you see the diagram, do this. Open Swiggy or Naukri on your phone right now. Type one letter into the search bar. Stop. So for do this yourself. So what happens? So did it show results? So whenever we search, uh, for example, in the Windows, if you see here, I want to open an application called um, File Explorer. So I'm searching here, File Explorer. Here we are able to see the results in the left panel. So similar to this, you look into Swiggy app. So that's what they are trying to say here. So did it download every restaurant or every job in India first? No. So that means whenever we are searching in Swiggy will is in Swiggy restaurants from all over India will be there, but they are divided based on region and all. So, but whenever we search, will we get all the list of restaurants? No, right? So, where did those results come from? So, where did those results come from is the question. So, the results came from the server of Swiggy in a way. So, that question is the entire point of today. You are going to build the answer. So, this is the answer that we are going to build here. So in a way, it is called Search API. So Search API is what we are going to build today in this session. Okay, moving on to the next. So yeah, session goal. Here is what you are committing to when you start this session. Build a fully working metro route saver connected front end to backend with a live search API. So our goal is to build metro route saver with front end, backend, and search API. So that is built using the backend. Understand the difference between dumping an entire database onto a phone versus query it precisely via an API. This is distinction and separation junior thinking from a senior thinking. So in a way they're saying that, but this is the basic nuance of how this search API should work. So that we'll look at. Implement front-end debouncing, the 5-line hook that protects backend server from crashing under user typing speed. So this debouncing is a concept where whenever you are typing in the front end, the request should go to the backend. But because we'll be typing at a speed, like for example, we want a restaurant from Hyderabad. So if it has 5 characters, for every character an API call will be done. But using this debouncing, we will do it in a 300 milliseconds range or 500 milliseconds range. So that means in this 500 milliseconds range, we might type 3 characters. So these 3 characters will be gone at once, not every character. So this helps in reducing the load on the backend server. So that is the main concept of debouncing here. Run the automated test suite that proves your search logic handles edge cases correctly. So here we will be writing the test cases as well to verify our application, the backend search API. So these automated tests also we will be implementing in this session. Moving on to the okay, so here we've set the goal for ourselves. So this is the goal of our session. Moving on to the next, architecture of the application. So here as well, the goal, you just asked how does that search work. In the previously we've seen this, how does that search work. Good, this step answers it. By the end you can name the 3 parts this app needs and explain why they are separate. So here the goal of this step 1 is to understand the architecture of the application. So coming back here to the diagram, so this is the architecture of this application, metro route search app. So we have the left pan, the front end implementation, so the middle pan, the back end implementation, the right pan, the database. So here in the left pan, as you see, query Secunderabad. So it will give the routes that are related to Secunderabad, but not all of the routes in India. Yes. So whenever we make a request from Secunderabad, so here like this, an API call will be done to the backend. So this is how the query will be done here. And this backend will make a call to the database to get the data. So from database we'll get the response, and the backend search API will analyze it, process it, and return the response back to the front end. So the list that we see here, Secunderabad 2 routes, that is due to that. Yeah. So this is the whole architecture as we seen: front end, back end, database. So this is how a full stack application works. Coming here, so you need to build a search feature you just used on Swiggy. Think about what it needs. So something to store all the routes. Yeah, to store the data, we need a database. So that's what we have done. We have the database in our architecture. Something to search them when you type a backend API. So whenever we are searching from the front end, it should trigger to the backend API. So that's what we have backend as well. Something to show the results, a screen. So that's the front end that we have seen in the architecture diagram. So these are the things you can read in more detail here for better understanding. You know, so that's the step one. Yes, so you can read all of this in more detail. Moving on to step 2, initialize the project. So the goal of this step is to set up the project, what are required for this particular project. So here if you see a route front end, route backend, Docker Compose. So Docker Compose, this front end is for front end application project. This is the backend application project, and Docker Compose is for setting up the database. So below are the commands that we have. So the same structure in the previous video of our playlist that we have. So I have already created them if you see in the left side. So the route hyphen front end that we already have, route hyphen backend that we already have, and the Docker Compose as well that we have created. Once we'll cross verify if they are working or not. Route front end. So npm run dev. So our application is running at port 5173. We'll come here 5173. So here is the application that we've front end application. So we'll stop this front end application. Yes, we'll get back to the parent folder. We'll come back to again route backend. Here npm run start dev. So the backend application is also running. Nest application successfully started. We can say this. Yeah. So we'll come to the browser and here we'll see, yeah, this is a backend application. Backend is also running. So this is the goal of this particular step, to set up the required structure for our project. So this is the main goal. You just mapped 3 layers: screen, API, database. Each is separate program. So before any code, we need a folder for each one. So as we seen in the diagram, we have front end, back end, and database. So these are 3 separate entities. So that's why in our project we have front end as a separate project, back end as a separate repo, and the database setup is separate. So all of the requirements are completely in isolation. Yeah. So that is the step 2 implementation. And here you can read the packages that we are using and all in this for more detail. So this is what we need to verify. Route front end is already there. Route backend is as well there. Docker-compose is as well there. So both folders have a package.json. So if you see here, package.json here in the front end, and in the backend as well, package.json in the backend. If both exist, you are done here. Go to step 3. Yeah. So this is the steps that you need to verify. Like this, we will have in every step. So going on to the next, step 3. So what is step 3? Describe requirements. Here, what is the goal? Here, you are the architect. So we are the architect here, not the builder. Not the builder. You are going to describe the search rules in plain English. Yeah. So we are going to tell our rules in plain English. And crucially, you will ask for seed data. So what is seed data? For example, in the example that we've taken of Swiggy, so the search worked because we already have data of all restaurants in the application. So similar to that, to have that data, because we are building an application, we will seed it like mock data or something like that. We'll seed the data. So we'll ask AI for this data as well. So as you're saying, because you cannot test a search bar against an empty database. Yes, we cannot do that on an empty database. That is the reason we will have the seed data. Yeah, every professional knows this. Most beginners forget it. Yeah, this for beginners, they'll forget it, but this is as important as building the search API. So coming back to the prompt, paste into your AI tool. Here we'll decode our prompt. So we have a very big prompt. We'll read it, understand it. I want to build a metro route saver app. My existing project, route frontend, React White TypeScript, route backend, Nest.js TypeScript, Docker compose.yml, empty. I'll configure Postgres here. Step 1, read before planning. Scan the folder structure and key config files in both projects. Tell me what is installed. So that is step 1. Step 2, here is what I want to build. So in till here, if you see, we are telling what is already there to the AI. So to understand the structure, what is existing in this project already. So step 2, here is what I want to build. I need two database tables, the mass route, the massive hashtag, and save route, the user's personal favorites. So routes is what all the routes are, and saved routes are what my favorites are. For example, I want to go to Gachibowli from my place. So Gachibowli will be my favorite route. So I always don't want to search it, right? So this helps us in that. A route has a transport type: bus, metro, local train, route number or name, start station, end station, and operating hours. That's for the route table, what details I want to save in it. The backend API must have a search route. So, what should the backend API? It should have a search route like something like this that filters routes where the query matches either the start station or end station or route name. So, whatever my search is, it can be start station, end station, or a route name. All these three, it has to be any of it matching. So, I need a seeding script that automatically inserts 20 realistic Indian transit routes. Example: Secunderabad to High Tech City, MMTS local train, City Bus 216 when the database starts. So this is the seed data that we've seen previously that we wanted to ask to generate so that we can search it. So respond with only a plan in this format. So we are saying the AI to respond only with a plan in this format. What you found in the existing project setup. So this in this project setup we have all these files. What did you find? Proposed data models, entities plus how they relate. So we have given two entities above, so that how they relate. Engine logic overview, how the backend will query the database. So how does the backend will query with the database? That is the main another format. Technology choices, so what technology you'll be choosing for this particular application building. And build phases, ordered list. So to build this application, how many phases are there in this implementation? So that is another thing. Do not write any code yet. Wait for my confirmation before building. Yes, this is a prompt. You also read this prompt before pasting it. So before that, once what I'll try to do is I'll come to the parent and I'll say get status. So here we have all this code. I'll commit these changes. Get commit hyphen m initial. So I committed all these changes, and coming back here, I'll copy the complete prompt and I'll give it to AI. Yes, we will see what is going to happen. So how AI works. So coming back here, thought for 1 second. The user wants to scan the existing project structure and then provide a plan Let me read the folder structure and key config files first. So an agent took the task, scan project structure and config files. So these are the details that it is scanning. Again, so it is using the bash command to do this operation, and it found few files. It is reading. Here we can see the read operation of it on the prettier file, other bash files. So you also need to go along this, how the AI agent is thinking, read through each and every detail. This gives us an understanding of how AI is working to implement our requirement. Yeah. So till here, if you see, so thought for 1 second. Now I have a clear picture of the project. Let me provide a comprehensive plan as requested. So we have requested for a comprehensive plan. So coming back to the bottom, this is the format in which we wanted our response, right? So we'll see whether it has given what I found. Front end. So what is the first thing? What you found in the existing project setup. So that is the first question that we had. Front end, we have route front end. It is of React 19 white JSX, bare bones only app.jsx and all. Backend route hyphen backend. So nest.js type ORM Postgres PG drive, that is a package. So here are the additional packages we already installed. Only scaffolded file exists, no modules beyond app module. So that is a basic structure that we have created. So docker hyphen compose.yml is 0 bytes, needs full configuration. So this is an empty file, so that they need to write code in the coming. So next thing is proposed data models. So we have given route. In route, we have asked for transportation type, bus, metro, local train, route number 216, blue lane, something like that. That is route number, route name. Second row by to high tech city is the name. Start station, searchable. Edit station, searchable. Operations hours. What is the time of hours that it operates? Created at what time this particular route is created. Saved route, users favorite. So this is another table that we asked for, saved routes. So it will have ID, primary key, note, optional personal note, saved at, when he saved it, route ID. So to the previous table we have a foreign key linking to which route is being saved here. Relationship, saved route has a many to one relationship to the route. One route can be saved multiple times. Yes. So that is a step 2 that we asked for. Engine logic overview. How the backend will query the database. So this is the API, and this is how we are trying to say where route is, like route name is one thing, start station, end station. So this is how it will be operating. Case insensitive. So lowercase or uppercase it should work. And saved endpoint. So we have asked for this saved endpoint as well. So that means whenever a user says a favorite, it should be saved. That is another endpoint. And technology choices. So here are the technology choices. It is using ORM type ORM, searchable via query builder, seed data, that is the one thing, database Postgres, validation, class validation, API documentation is Swagger. So this is a technology stack that it is using. So we did not give all these details. We gave only Postgres. Postgres is one. So all this type ORM, search, I like, seed data and everything. Seed also we asked for. Others it has given the technology stack it will be using. Build phases. So build phases have Docker Compose is one phase. Configure Postgres service with named volume, all the details that are required in the Docker Compose. Type ORM config is another phase. route module is another phase, seeder is another, saved route module is another, front end wiring. So these are the phases, 6 phases it has created for us. So build phases. So these are the build phases that we have seen above. Yeah. So what, moving on to the next. So to the prompt that we have asked in the same format, it has given us the response. Verify three things. The AI proposes route and saved route. Yeah, that has been done, that we have seen. The AI outlines a search API endpoint that takes a query parameter, that also that we have seen the query parameter. So here is the query parameter that we can see. No complete code has been written yet. No code has been written. If you see here in the Git, there are no changes at all. It has given us only the plan. So at the bottom as well, if you see to scroll down, ready to build, confirm, and I'll start with phase 1. Yeah. So it did not write any code. So these brain training and challenges, you can look at them. Moving on to next step, build the full application. So here the goal is, in this step, the plan is approved. So we have reviewed the plan and everything, so we can approve it. There is no problem in it. Now we build the entire stack in one prompt. So in this step, we'll build the application in one prompt. Your job, read every file name as it appears. Don't look away. The files appearing right now are the product of what you described in plain English. So as we give a prompt, so this also has a prompt here. As we give that, as we've previously done, so the same way we need to read through the output that the AI gives us. So before coming back here, human was AI, the leverage reality. Who, time to build this, what they are doing. A human developer alone, time to build is 3 to 4 days to build this. So what he does, writes SQL, like queries, debouncing React state, seeding database, tables, configure type ORM entities. All of this will be done by the AI. Human. In general, before AI, we used to do this. So this takes like 3 to 4 days. So we today, it takes 45 seconds or closer, describing the requirements clearly. So what we are doing, we are only describing our requirements. So what are our real skills here? Knowing to ask for debouncing and the seed data, so the AI architects it correctly the first time. So here we can think of like previously human used to write everything. So now here if you see AI doing it. But what is our skill here? Our real skill is knowing what it requires. The debouncing, the seed data. One moment. Yeah, the debouncing, the seed data. So these are the nuances that we need to know. So our skill is that what is needed in this particular project. Yes, AI will build for us. So the skill is giving these details. If these details are not given, so it will build on its own. That means we will not understand what it is building. So we'll get the output, but it might use some random things that we don't want. So our skill here is giving these nuances. So paste after the AI shows you the plan. So we have seen the AI showed us the plan. We will decode this prompt as well. Yeah. So the plan looks perfect. Please build the complete application exactly as planned. Yeah, we've seen the plan and we want exact implementation. So UI and logic rules. So we are giving few details here. Clear modern transport app UI, dark mode. The home page must have a large prominent search bar at the top. So how the UI should look like, the search bar should look like. Below a search bar, display the search results dynamically. Each route card should have a save to favorite button, star icon. Include a my commute section showing only their saved routes. That's one. Critical. Implement debouncing. Wait 300 milliseconds on the front end search bar so it does not spam the backend on every single keystroke. So this is the main critical thing because this is most crucial. So if we don't do this, there will be a burden on the backend. So to avoid that, we are giving this debouncing. So this is the skill of the human here. So AI might not think about this. So later on in like 5 attempts or 6 attempts, it can figure this out. But our skill is this. So we need to understand what are the bottlenecks of an application. And we to remove those bottlenecks, we have to give details like this. So that is our human skill here. Add console logs so I can see the searchlight working. So we want to have logs. So backend logs we want to have in this format. So that helps us in understanding which block of code is getting triggered and all. Front end also we have these logs, the structure of the logs. Build all files. Make sure the database seeds the 20 Indian routes on startup when it should say on startup. So these are the requirements that we are giving in the second prompt. So here, as AI told, just we can say start with phase one, but we have additional details as well. So these details we did not give in a previous prompt, right? Previous prompt was only a plan. So now into this plan, all these requirements will be integrated and it will be implemented. So now paste and see as we decoded previously, we'll see each line of what AI is doing, how it is thinking, and what it is implementing. So we'll decode that now. So immediately, as we can see, as we pasted, we've seen the output. The user wants to build the complete application. Let me plan what needs to be built. So Docker Compose, backend, frontend. Let me start building all files. I should first check the existing file structure to see what's already there and what needs to be created or modified. So previously it had the structure. Now it is reading all the individual files. If we see here, read this particular file. So we'll try to maximize this so that we'll be able to see the full name. Yeah. First it is reading docker compose.yml in the root folder. Next, it is reading app.module in router-backend, so backend code. So this is also backend. So this is the read operation that it is doing. And here also, if you see in the front end, it is reading index.css and white.config.js in the front end. And this is in the backend again, package.json. So it is saying now I have a complete picture. Let me plan all the files I need to create or modify. So backend, so now it read all the files and it took out the list of files where it need to make what changes. Docker-compose.yml Postgres SQL service. So we need to give details of how to make use of Postgres database in this particular file. In this main.ts, add course swagger global validation pipe log message. All these details will be added in this file. Add type in app.module.ts, add type orm config, import route and saved route modules. Those have to be done. Route.entity.ts, route entity. So this has to be created actually. Route entity, module, service, controller. So that is for route. And saved route entity. So saved route entity, module, service, controller. And here seeded data. So this is the seeding data that we asked for, right? So whenever the application starts, we need to seed the data. So I need to set up the remaining modules and service for handling routes and saved routes. So we can read along all of this detail. So and thought for like 57 seconds. I have a complete picture of the existing project structure. Let me build everything. So the above details, whatever it has given, again it listed it out. And now I have everything I need. Let me build all the files. So one after another, it is going to the front end, it read it. And again, it is going down the same thing backend, what files it has to be updated. Coming here, so it started writing, if you see, update to dos. So it has created a checklist and what changes to be made. So it had started making. So first change is in this particular file, docker-compose.yml. If you click it, we can get into there. Yeah. So here, if you see, this is the write operation. So this is the code it has written here. And if we come back here and see in the config changes, we can easily understand this. So the green color is the new additions. Docker Compose was already existing, so that's the thing. And we'll minimize this again and come back. We'll extend this. We'll extend a bit more of it. Yeah. So it has first written the Docker Compose. It updated the checklist. Now it is working on write backend route entity module service and controller. So first it has written route entity. This is the code it has written. Next it has written route service.ts. So this is the code it has written in this. And again it has written on route controller. This is the code it has written here in this. And then coming back to routes.module.ts. So the controller, so this is a controller, route controller, the previous file that we have seen. The linking, everything will be route service. This is a code that we've seen previously, all this. So in the module, everything will be mapped into one. So the implementation of this is done. Now write back and saved route. So this is the route saving. So like Gachibowli to High Tech City to Secunderabad, all these routes will be done using this. Now moving on to the saved route. So in the saved route entity. So this is the code it has written here. And then saved route service.ts. This is the code it has written here. And then again coming back to route controller.ts. This is a controller code it has written here with the multiple functions. And saved route module.ts. So as we've seen previous module as well, for route, saved route will also be linking to the controller that is being created and to the service. And scrolling down, this implementation is also done. Now write backend seed service with 20 Indian routes. So here if you see seed.service.ts, if you click it, here we can see seed routes, transportation type metro, so route number red line, route name Miyapur to LB Nagar metro, start station Miyapur, end station LB Nagar, operations from 6 to 22, that means 6 a.m. to almost 10 p.m. So this is one. So another thing is same blue route Nagol to Raidurg metro. Like this we can see almost 20 of the records. So here it has given distinction of Hyderabad metro is the one section. MMTS local trains of Hyderabad, this is another section. Hyderabad city buses TSRTC is another section. And Delhi metro is another section. Mumbai local trains is another section. Chennai metro is another section. So Bengaluru Namma metro is another section. It has covered all major cities. And this is the seeding code. How we'll be populating it into the database. So scrolling down here, the seed module. So now seed service was that, seed module is this code. So update, if you see, write backend seed service with 20 Indian routes is also finished. Now moving into update backend main.ts. So coming back here, main.ts, yeah, here course it has written enable course validation pipeline. So this is the Swagger setup, the documentation, and the port on which it should be running. So coming back to app.module.ts, yeah, here we are setting up the database linkage. So in the Docker Compose, we have given our code, right? So once if we will reduce this and open this, and coming to Docker Compose, if you see, these are the details that are provided. To these details are this particular application should be linking. Type ORM main your module. So this is what we are trying to do here. Yeah. Scrolling down a bit, that is the implementation of main and app module.ts. So till here the implementation is done. Now next checklist is write frontend app.jsx with dark UI, debouncing search, my commute. So coming back here, app.jsx. So this is the code it has written here. So to understand it better, okay, we'll minimize this and we'll maximize this. We'll come to here. Here we'll see app.jsx. So this is the code changes it has done in the app.jsx, replacing our old code. Yeah. So here, if we come back app.jsx and see the debouncing code. So saved routes is one we asked for. So coming back to the bottom a bit, a components code search remove. Yeah. So this is the header with these details, and then the search bar that we asked for. The search bar code is this, and tabs for all routes, my commute. So it has tabs section here, the details that we asked for. Search results, so the search results that we asked for, that section. My commute, so my commute, whatever favorite that I've added, that section is another section. So this is the front end implementation that it is doing. So here that is done. First thing is that, yeah, we have seen that, and index.css that also got updated based on the UI that we asked for. And next file is app.css as well, got updated if you see a lot of code. So come back here and see uh, app.css. So green color, red color is what replaced with green color. So based on the dark mode that we asked for and the modern metro route UI that we asked for. And index.css as well, if you see, a lot of code is replaced with uh, old implementation is replaced with newer things. Yeah. So coming back here, the implementation is done. My commute, writing front end, index.css, app.css, dark mode style, everything is done. So it has given us the final written Docker backend, what it has written and implemented all the files, front end, all the files that it has updated, and how to run the application. It has given us the list. So as you have observed, I have walked through the everything, each and every step. Yeah. So this way you also need to walk through. That is very important to understand what code is implemented where, and how AI agent is thinking to implement, how it is thinking and what it is implementing and when. Because this is how a human used to do, but as we have seen, a human takes almost like 3 to 4 days to implement this. So we have been decoding this, but on average it took not more than 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes. I think it only took 2 to 3 minutes to implement all the code for us. But as we are walking through everything, we are not sure when it has finished. So we are able to achieve the AI has implemented everything in 5 minutes. Yeah. So in the previous scenario, as we have seen, the human developer alone and with AI today, how fast the implementation is done. So coming to the verification part, 7+ files generated across both folders. Yeah, that we have seen here. We can see 16 files have been updated or created. The React contains set timeout and use effect that you can search in there. The backend has a controller file with a search bar. Yeah, that also you can walk through, that we can see. So routes, modules, controller, and search. This is what he is referring to. Yeah. Brain training. You can walk through this brain training and challenge as well. That is part of step 4. That was our step 4 goal, to finish our application implementation is in one go. That is achieved. Now what is step 5? Start the full stack application. So power on all 3 layers simultaneously: database, backend, frontend. Only when all 3 are running will you see the first live search work end to end. Yeah, that is true. So now we'll run all the 3 layers. So we'll stop this. So coming back here, in one tab, one terminal, we are upping the database. So we'll come to Docker Compose and see, here we can see the name metro route. It is up. Next step is change directory, and this is the backend one. Coming to backend, so we'll start another new terminal of command prompt and we will paste it here. No, we need to change to the backend directory first, to routes backend. Yeah, here we can see that. Now paste it, npm run start dev, npm run start dev. So yes, the application is started. So the route API running and seed data injected. Seed data is also injected. It is saying Nest application has started. So once we'll come here and load this. Yeah, application is up and running, / docs API. Okay, this is the API that, yeah, this is the API. So these are the APIs. The previously as shown, the search API that is implemented for us. We can verify them. And then coming into the application, okay, this is the backend. So now we'll see our front end. So we will create another one, command prompt cd route frontend, paste it, npm run dev, only dev. So now we'll come to our front end. So if you see, the UI changed from previous to now. So here we can see all the routes. My commute is 0 because I did not save any of them yet. Here if you see all routes, these are the almost 20 routes are here, and we have details of bus type. These are all of the bus, and then the metro icon, all of them, blue lane names, Jubilee Hills bus stand to Mahatma Gandhi substation. Yep. Okay. So here if you see, yeah, this is what it is, the all the routes it has created for us. Yeah, here it is. So we can see all the routes that are created for us. Here now we'll search for something like second Jubilee Hills, JUB. So if you see the number of records got reduced. Yeah. So another thing is come to the inspect element, and okay, we will reduce this and come to the networking here. So we'll remove this for now. Yeah. Here, this is the query. Here, J. One query is done if you see here with J only. J U. Another query with J U. J U B. Another query with J U B. So three API triggers are done. So like that, on every character striking, a call will be done. But here we have, we'll clean this now and see JUB. If you see, only one is done. Why? Because I have typed these three characters fast, so that fell into 300 micro milliseconds. So this is the thing, the debouncing implementation that we've done in the front end. This is very important. So this is our human skill, not the AI skill telling us we need this feature. Yeah. So this is another point that we needed to know. So as we can see, our front end application is running, backend is running, and we can see our logs as well. So how search is working, found how many records and all, and the front end logs as well. So for the front end logs, we can see here in the console tab as well. We have asked for these logs as well. Yes, we can cross verify all of them. You can get into that code. Yes. So we'll minimize this and we can say verify two specific log lines, route app running and see data injected. This we already seen. Viewing saved commutes. So viewing saved commutes. Yeah, here we can see viewing saved commutes. Okay, here, yeah, we've seen these routes. Now I want to save Koti to Jubilee Hills. I'll save this. Yeah. So on saving this, I'll say my commute. I don't see any of them. 1 second. So we'll see, come back here and I'll save one of them. Saved. Okay, saved is not working for some reason. Yeah, this is a good catch. So what we need to do. So one of the issue that we are facing. So first what we'll try to do is we have 16 file changes. We'll stage all these changes. Yeah, we staged all these changes and now in the UI we are seeing these issues. Yeah, so what we'll do, we'll copy this. Yeah, and we'll tell our AI this is the issue that we are facing. Here we'll paste them. Facing the following issue on clicking the save on a route. So that's what happening, right? Identify what the issue is and fix it. Yeah, so this is a prompt. So we've staged all our changes. We will see what the issue was. We'll see here. Our command is given here. It started thinking within a second. The user is getting a 500 error when trying to save a route. Let me look at the saved route entity and service to identify the issue. The likely issue is with the saved route entity, specifically the route ID column, where type ORM tries to save it, might be having issues with the column definition in the relationship. So it's something analogy it came across. Let me read the saved route entity and service to identify the exact issue. It first assumed this, but and again it want to read the files for identifying the exact issue. So here if you see the read operation, the issue is that type ORM has a conflict between the many to one with join column and an explicit route ID. When type ORMs is joined, it already creates a route ID column as a foreign key. Having an additional column route on the top of that causes a conflict. The fix is to remove the separate column declaration since join column already handles this. So here if we come back here, so here if you see the relationship is already there. Instead of column it is giving relation ID with saved route. Yeah, so now we will, so that is the implementation. It made the change. The root cause it is telling us restart the backend and the save button should work. So now what we'll see, our backend will see if our backend is again started, if you see. Yeah, and now we will come back to our application. We will reload the page once and we'll say, for example, LB Nagar to Rajiv Gandhi Airport, and we'll save. It got saved, and if we click on OK, so here we will try to say we got another error. Yeah, copy this, reload the page. My commute. Okay, on navigating to my commute, we are facing this. So again, we'll come back here. We've seen this is working. So we'll paste this. Now we're facing this, facing the following issue on clicking the, when are we facing this? On clicking the my commutes tab, on clicking the tab. Yeah, in identify the issue and fix it. So again it is reading for us. So scheming, it thought, yeah, the error is in saved route at line 73, trying to access route transportation, but route is null. This happens when a saved route is returned from the backend, but the eager loaded route relation is null. So the issue is in saved entity relation ID decorator I just added is used. It does not affect the eager loading, but the problem might be that affect the fix. So it is giving us the description detail. All of this you can read. So here, what is the error that it has made? Yeah, now if you see, it made changes in the service. So here, instead of directly accessing the route ID, from the route it is accessing route ID and it is assigning it to ID. So coming back, so this is the save operation, save. Okay, we click on my, no, okay, it looked at the wrong place, I think. So the save was successful. Okay, not this. So for example, we'll again add MGB High Tech City. Now is the issue. Okay, we can tell the AI right now. So it has done something wrong for us. So we can tell this is not the fix. Now save is also failing. Yeah, now save is also failing. My issue was after save it worked, and on navigating to my commute tab it is failing to load the page with the given error message in the console log. Yeah, identify the issue if it's in front end or back end. Yeah, so whatever change this has done, this is not correct. So that we are telling it again to identify where the issue is. So it is thinking, the user says the save is working, saved routes. When navigating to my commute type, it crashed, cannot read properties of transportation type. So the issue is in the front end rendering. Saved route is null for saved routes. Let me revert the previous service change since it broke the saving. Then focus on why the commute tab crashes. So as we told, it will be reverting this change. The crash happens at this particular line it is trying to say. So scrolling to the bottom and see, so it read this particular saved route service. Again, it read front end code, thinking on this. Again, it is still calculating. So what it is thinking here, yeah. Now I can clearly see the issue. The error is in front end. Get saved route returns record that have a null route left over from before the entity fix. When saved stores null foreign key, the frontend blindly destructures route and immediately accesses the route transportation. No null guard. The fix is twofold. So this backend and frontend. So this is the fix it is trying to tell, and all the details. Scrolling down to the bottom, it is still processing and thinking and telling us few insights. Here it did not revert the change yet. So here another insight that I can say is, so in order to read this and understand, we need to know the basic working of the full stack application. So right now we are building it with a preconceived notion of you are aware of basic front end and basic backend and basic Docker compose. So for them, this insight will be helping. If you don't have this understanding, you need to work on understanding and learning these nuances. So here, if you have observed, I did not write any line of code. If you have observed from beginning till now, we are giving what is required by us, our requirements, and the AI is implementing for us, and we are understanding what AI has implemented. We are verifying it and testing it. Yeah. So here, coming back here, if you see, it made this change. It removed our previous change in the other file, and it made the change here. And in the front end also, it has added validation. So coming back to front end, we'll reload the page. We'll come to my commute. So my commute here, we are not able to see anything. Here we are having 20 routes. So I'll say save. So save will come to my commute. I don't see anything. Okay. So what we'll do here is we'll log this, we'll save this, and we'll come to our application and see in front end what is happening, in back end what is happening. So when we click on save, view saved is only triggering. No backend, it is not triggered. So coming back to the network, saved route. So note is null. So what response are we getting here? Response is this preview. We'll give. So this is a payload. So this route ID. We'll copy this. This is the network. We are telling we want to give details to the AI. So on the call, getting our ESP response as our response is this. Yeah. But again, copy the call. but when fetching out response is empty, there is mismatch in data. So what we are telling here is what we are telling the AI. So when we clicked on the save button, the save worked. So this is a payload, this is a API call, this is the route ID, the response is ID saved at it is telling. But again, when we are trying to fetch here, if you see this saved and coming to header, this is a post call. And here we are trying to get the saved details. Then we are getting the response as empty. That's not valid, right? As we see here, the saved has been successful. So we got here as 2 not 1 created. So here we are telling, okay, within the meantime, we'll stage these changes because it worked without any issue. We were able to navigate to my commute. But the issue was we are not able to see the data at all. So that's what we told the AI, what the issue that we are facing here. So it is scrolling up, thinking the post response shows ID, no route object in the response. This confirms the foreign key is null when saving. The route ID is not being proper, is not being set properly, the route ID. Okay, so it understood an issue. Building the insert method, actually I'm realizing that query builder approach still relies on entity metadata for column mapping. So we'll scroll down, it is thinking in multiple scenarios. So here the backend is running saved entity. Okay, so it is making changes to the insert itself, insert query. So it is editing, it is making the change. The insert path bypasses the entity hydration cycle entirely and writes the foreign key column directly. Restart the backend and save. So here if you see, okay, we need to restart it once. So we'll restart npm run start dev. So here we are facing this issue. So we need to share it with AI, what issue we are facing. Okay. Facing the following issue on restarting the backend server. So, okay, what it is saying. 300. Okay. Okay, now it worked. Simply type note. Okay, build that simple type mismatch. Null isn't assigned. Just use undefined. So this undefined is small thing that it worked. Yeah, here I think this is the issue. So now it is working. So I think that was the issue that it changed from null to undefined. So now we'll come to our application, reload it. So for example, we'll save another one. We saved it. Now coming to my commute, we still not able to see it. This is messing us around. So here it is created, now it is. So one thing what we'll try to do is, here we have a Docker compose. We'll once check in the database if it is the data is getting populated or not. Actually this is our step, next phase of connecting to the database and testing. So because we are facing the issue, so we can still tell that, okay, we will, okay, about this, close this. So now I have this particular Once I'll come to Docker Compose, I'll minimize this, and what is the user DB name is Metro DB, and 5432 is the port. So I'll come here, I'll connect Postgres next 5432 Metro routes. Username is Metro. Oh, okay. So this everything came here, Metro, and I'll copy the password of Metro pass. So we'll test the connection first. Connection failed for some reason. So Metro routes. Oh. Here it should be localhost only. Here it should be updated. Yeah, I've replaced in the wrong place. Yes. Finish. So if you see, okay, that was my previous one. Public tables, yeah. So here if you click on, yeah, data is being populated here. In routes we are not getting, yeah, routes also we have data. In saved routes data is populated, but route ID is empty. So this insight we will try to share with AI. We'll save this. I observed that on insert data is populated in the database, but route ID is null. Identify the issue, why it is still inserting null. Due to this, unable to view the favorites in the my commute tab, right? In the my tab, yeah. So this is our issue, right? So okay, here because we come across, this is how, this is a DBeaver application using which we connected to the database that is running. So our database is running of Postgres here with the details. So the details are these. Using this we connected from DBeaver. So we can use DBeaver, or like DBeaver there will be other clients as well using which we can connect. So this gives us what data is stored in our database. So this is the data that is stored in the route table, and this is the detail saved in the saved route. So now coming back here, we have given the insight. So the issue is that even with the query builder insert is still null in the database. Let me think about why the query builder insert uses. The question is whether type or a query builder relates to the foreign key in this case. So it is doing the analysis. Scrolling down a bit, let me read the current entity and service. So it is reading this saved route, and then it is reading this saved service, both the details. Thought for 13 seconds. Now I can clearly see the issue. The entity has many to one relation ID. The relation ID is purely for reading the foreign key value loaded. It's not a writable column where typeorm processes values. So it is saying that is the issue. Found it like purely a read decorator. It is no effect on insert operation when query builder processes it. So edit it. I added the import but did not update the save method yet to use random UUID. Let me update the saved method now. So in the service it is saying, so this raw insert. So we'll come back here and see what changes it made. So random UUID insert saved at this random UUID. We'll see if this change works. So we will reload this and we'll click on, okay, we'll do this save. I think it's still not working. Okay, we'll come to the database and see if there is any new record. So in order to see new data, we have to right click and reload. So we still don't see the change. But 1 second, what we'll try to do is we'll stop the backend and we'll run it again. Okay, so I've reloaded it, reloaded the application. So this is empty, and then I click on save. Save, it is saying 2001 created again. It is still getting same route and this. Still we don't see. We'll come to the client here, DBeaver, and we'll again reload for this new change. We've seen this again, still it is. So we will paste the response here. We'll come to the front end. We'll copy the fetch call. Still route is null. What is the issue? So here we can still see the issue. We'll close this for now. Sorry, we staged the changes. So we'll see what changes it will make here. It is still thinking aggressively. Yeah, coming back. There was a fluctuation in my internet. I'll rerun this here from here. The raw SQL insert should definitely be writing the route ID to the database, but the response still shows it. If we are using the raw insert with actual values and the router is still, this might be column name in the database is different case issue. So case issue, so route ID is here, and coming back here, and what are the column names here? Route ID itself. So coming back to columns, route ID. Okay. So going to the top, coming back to the bottom, what changes it made. So here, if we see, we have coming across multiple problems here, but AI is systematically thinking over it. If you decode this each and every step, we can understand how AI is thinking, and it is similar to how human also does the task. So if a similar issue is raised, human also in a way decodes the issue, identifies and fixes in the similar approach. It's no different approach we can say, but it's the same approach that human also does, but it might take him more time. So okay, in the meantime we'll try to look at where we should look at. Okay, we'll try to give this insight. generate create data definition query. So this gives it the insight of route ID is in route ID. This is here add constraint. Copy this once and see if this helps. So we'll paste this. Following is the DDL of the table. So it takes this insight and this might help the AI. We'll see if this helps it or not. So it came to a change. The raw SQL is running, but route ID is still null. That means the value arriving at the service is undefined. The culprit is in main.ts. So here is the culprit we are saying. It is whitelist. Whitelist true strips every property that has no class validator decorator. Save route has no decorator on the route ID, so it gets stripped before the controller even arrives as undefined. So coming back, so we'll reduce this, and here is the decorator. If you see here is route ID, this decoration is not here. We saved it and we'll come back here and roll. And now we will clear it, save it. So here it is success, and here we are able to see one. We'll click yes. So this is how it got fixed. So here, as we see, this one line of code that we've added at the level of main.ts file, the decorator validation. So because we had that, we need to add these changes. This data was not given. These decorators were not added from class validation. Because of that, it was ignoring them. So now after adding, we are able to see this. So this way here, one of the learning is the bugs also can be fixed by AI, but we need to give it the details correctly. So because this was a crucial thing, it worked on 2 to 3 times. We have given the prompts telling this is the issue, but one after another, it fixed one after another, and then it came to the last stage of understanding, going back to the main.ts file where the root cause is. So yeah, it takes time, but we should also understand the structure of the whole application. This we just cannot say yeah, AI is not doing work for us. So we should be able to understand the nuances of the application. So one line of code changes everything. Yeah. So that's how this line of code is removing what data to be sent to it. Saved route DTO. So like this will be nuances will be there. We should be able to understand these nuances. So at last we are able to finish the application and we tested it. So this is the start the full application and coming back to live demo. So in a way we have done the live demo part here. Okay, we'll see what the goal is. This is the step where everything was building towards. Type slowly, watch the logs at every moment. You are about to see the exact mechanism that powers every search bar should ever be used. So that's what we have seen, all this process. And front end logs we have seen, including the debouncing. Backend logs we have seen, and then saved route appear correctly in the my commute. So that's what we have seen here. The saved things are available. Yes. And then moving into developer verification. So opening the Vault API browser. So here, what is this developer verification? The app looks like it's working, but a professional never just trusts the UI. We are going to verify the data using two independent tools, the API browser and the database viewer. This is exactly how a senior engineer investigates where when a user says my data did not save. So it is asking us to make the API call. So here if you see, this is the front end and this is the Swagger. So from here he is asking us to make the change. So coming back here, enter Gachibowli, search routes, and okay. So here we'll copy this, come back here again. He's asking us to here search query, try it out and search Gachibowli. So here we are able to see no responses. So click execute, confirm matching routes appear in the JSON format. So here we have given Gachibowli, but there are no. So we will change Gachi. So we'll reduce the name wording and say, okay, we don't have this record. I think we'll say high tech. Oh, okay. Once we'll come to the UI and see what do we have. Rajiv, for example, Rajiv, 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 execute. So we should be able to see the response here. Yeah, so this is front end and this is back end directly without UI we are triggering it. So this is how we developers verify it. This is also as important of verifying from the front end. And check 2 is database viewer. So we have to connect to database. So we already connected to the database and he is asking us to give all the details, route to table. So in the route to table, direct in the route table, check the data tab. In the route table, check the data tab. Here we'll have properties, data, diagrams. So here is the data. So diagram is how these two tables are linked. This is a UML diagram we can say. So that's what we are seeing. Check direct URL filter, the Searchlight manually invoke. So Metro API routes search. So we'll see what this route is. So came back here. This is the same API, right? API. Oh, API routes. Open the browser. Oh, okay. They're saying you directly give it in the browser. So what it is saying 400. Why is it? This will not work here. Yeah. Okay, this will not work from here because this is an API. 404, 404. What is this? What we can do, another thing is, because this is a curl call, we will remove API. So only routes can be here. Route search. Okay, we'll remove the API here and trigger. Yeah, this is the correct thing if you see. So the same object that we got here as a JSON, here we are getting as a raw and we are prettifying it. This is for Metro. So previously we've done for Rajiv. So here if we see Rajiv, will get the same one record and we can prettify. From browser also we can make this. We are trying to see the check 3. So check 1 Swagger is returning the data. Check 2 DBeaver, we are able to see 20 records. So once again coming to DBeaver and scroll down, we can see 20 records here. Check 3 not all 20. So for Metro, as saying here again we'll give Metro Metro, and here how many records we are getting? Only 3. Only 3 have Metro here, Metro, and where is this Metro and Metro? Yeah, only 3 records. So coming back here, we verified all of them. And coming to the automated test suits. Yes. So here, whatever we have, we stage all these changes. So we'll commit these changes. For example, we'll come here, git status, git commit hyphen m working full stack application. Yes, it's working, right? So we've committed all these changes. Now coming on to the next step of step 8, automated test suits. You've proven the app works right now. Yes, from the UI, from Swagger, we've seen that. But what about tomorrow when someone changes a line of code? Yes, build a safety net, tests that re-verify the critical logic in seconds every time. Yeah, that is true because on one project many people will be working, then it might break. So how do we handle that? With the test cases. So here we'll see what paste into your AI tool. We'll see our prompt. I want to write automated E2E tests for the backend search logic. Test should verify the search route returns multiple items for the partial query second or bad. The result route is completely case sensitive. Sec was a capital sec was lower sec should work. Saving a route to favorite works. Retrieving saved favorite works. Please generate a complete E2E test file. Add console logs at the start of each test. Give me the command to run all the tests. So this is a prompt. We'll copy this and we'll paste and see what happens. Yeah. The user wants E2E tests for the backend. Let me look at the existing test setup first. So he's first reading this particular file. Test. First global, this file, and then this file app.e2e test spec that was previously that we are having, and from the bash commands as well. And he's looking at the test e2e script users config, all these details. Now I have everything I need. Okay. Now I have everything I need. The test.e2e script already exists, but just misses just hyphen e2e.json and the actual test file. Let me write both. So it is writing this particular file because it was missing. And then, yeah, now it has that file. Now reading this particular file. Yeah, good. The E2E already exists. I just need to add test timeout and then edit. So it made an edit. So again, it added code to this particular routes.e2e test files. So coming back here, we'll see what changes it made. Yeah, set timeout is one thing that it added. And then this is the new test file that it added. So now we'll come down and see. So this is the command it is asking us to run from the backend, npm run test e2e. So now we'll come back here and this is a backend, right? Okay, after this we'll create another command from terminal. So cd route backend, and here we'll say npm run test e2e. So we are able to see this error message. So we will provide this issue to, yeah, to the AI. Facing the following issue. Identify what the issue is. So here within meantime we'll stage these changes to see what parts were missing and what it is fixing. So scrolling down, the issue is simple. The has test config but is in the test directory. So resolve to the root of the project outside backend, not the route hyphen backend. Okay. The path to the file. So it edited this particular file. Now, okay, this particular one line it changed, if you see, only within the root. And then we'll npm run start. So if you see the issue is in the configuration. So it is going to the parent folder, but it should be within this backend folder only. Yes. So that was the issue. And if we decode this test, scroll up, okay, we'll minimize this and we'll be able to see all of this. Yeah, going to the top. Yeah, app test, this is one test, this is a basic test whether it is running or not. These are the tests that we have written. So route API running the seed data injected. Partial sec returns multiple results. Yeah, search results sec found 4. Yeah, we'll cross verify here once whether we'll have sec. How many we have? 4. Okay, here we have 4. If you see second row bad, the same test. And test case capital sec and lower sec. So we'll say capital here once again and see the same 4. Yeah, here again we can see the capital sec as well. We can see 4 records. And then favorite 4 found as saving favorite items. If you see it is saved as well, it's trying to say. So this is how we write the test. So we will commit these tests as well. So later, as mentioned, no. Okay, so here, as it's mentioned, why tests are needed, because later someone might work on these APIs again and they update it. So then running the test, these will be failing. So in that case, he will understand that means our previous implementation should also work. The current implementation should not break the previous old implementation. So that's how these tests will be helping us out. So we verified all this. All the 5 tests got passed. You can go through this brain training. So, and step 8 is finished. We'll commit these changes. So git commit -m implemented the E2E tests. Yeah, this is also is working. Now moving on to the next step of step 9, enhancement. Clear search UX upgrade. The app works, the test pass. Now we make it feel like a real product. One UX detail that every commercial search app has and most tutorial projects do. So what is that we are trying to say? Update the front-end search bar component. Add a small X clear button inside the right side of the input field. It should only appear when there is text typed. Click it should clear the query and instantly reset the search results. Also add console log. So what they are trying to say here is, for example, here sec is there. So here at the end we want to add the into button. So because if we have these 3 characters, if you say this again, if you see here in the network, the calls are happening, which is not needed. So this one clear should clear that and make an empty call. Yeah, so that's the detail. So you work on this implementation, and that is step 9, and our whole application is finished. So our session is finished. Yeah, we've reached end of the session complete. We describe the rule set in plain English. The AI built the files. We verified the data in 3 independent layers: the front end, the back end, and database. We protected the search logic with the automated test suites. Yes. And you need to add a professional UX detail at the end. This is not a tutorial. This is how software is built in 2026. Yes, that is true. So this is how software is built in 2026.